GitHub Actions posted a failed build in our Slack for a commit I hadn't pushed yet. It was the usual blue banner from our CI bridge, same emoji, same channel. Build failed on main, with a test summary and a link. I clicked through and got a 404 on GitHub. There was no job. There was no commit. I looked back at the Slack message and read the failure text. It was one of our flaky test parser fate with an assertion about a byte offset. The exact line number, the exact expected string. I hadn't even opened VS Code yet. By the time I launched it, my laptop fans were already waking up. Windows had slept in that unconvincing way Windows sleeps. I pulled the latest, made the same small change I'd planned, and ran the test locally. A minute later, the same failure flashed red in my terminal. Same byte offset. Same line number. I told myself it was a coincidence. The test is flaky. We've all seen the same diff of red and green 100 times. Then it happened again. 30 minutes later, in another Slack channel, the build bot posted that a PR would fail because our linter would catch a trailing comma. It included the file path and the line. I hadn't opened that file yet. The PR didn't exist. This time the link worked because by the time I clicked it, I had made the PR and the linter had flagged it. I stayed at the timestamps in Chrome. The Slack message was 2 minutes ahead. I opened GitHub Actions and checked the workflow runs. None. No failed builds. No queued jobs. I checked our AWS code build dashboards and CloudWatch logs. The last recorded run was from hours earlier. Nothing in CloudTrail showed an invocation of anything with our role. My Slack apps page showed the message came from our own app, the one that bridges GitHub to Slack. Posted by CI bridge, no but token leak, no warning. I rotated the token anyway. I reinstalled the app. I even deleted the signing secret and created a fresh one. 30 minutes later, another message popped up. Don't merge hash 241. Unit tests will fail under Windows locales. It was posted by the new app with the new token. I was the only one on Windows on the team. I ran the test with my locale flipped to German and PowerShell. They failed on my machine and nowhere else. I did what I always do when something feels wrong. I tried to make it boring. I wrote it off as clock skew. I hit Win+R and type timed it, CPL. Everything was synced with time, Windows com. I ran W32/resync. No difference. The Slack timestamps went ahead of my system clock. They were ahead of reality. I opened Windows Event Viewer and traced every plugin, every scheduled task. I ran get scheduled task. Say ec ready in PowerShell and check next runtime. There was a task named preflight that I didn't recognize. Created months ago. Disabled. Last run under a username we had offboarded. I remembered that name. Preflight was the nickname he gave to a script he'd made when he was trying to keep us from breaking main. He'd left last winter for a new gig. Before he left, he cut a PR to remove the script. We merged it. Slack showed preflight as a job name in the message body. It wasn't in our repo. It wasn't in Actions. It wasn't in our AWS account. I searched everywhere for that string. Code. GitHub/workflows, CloudFormation, our Terraform state, the logs. I even grabbed my entire home directory. The only hits were an archived Slack post from last year. I pinged Tilly on Discord out of habit and then remembered. He had gone off all our servers when he left. New email. Knew everything. We joked that his flight was going to outlive him. I let that thought die before I finished it. I tried to break it. I made a nonsense branch. I changed a file I never touched. I ran a weird test. Slack posted that the build would fail. It got the test name right. It guessed the branch name right, even though I had used a random suffix. I generated the branch name by mashing keys. It was meaningful. The prediction somehow had the same random suffix present in the string. I opened the Slack message details. It was posted via our app again from an IP in S-1 that looked like AWS NAT. I pulled CloudTrail again. No calls from our IAM roles. No Lambda invokes. Our API gateway logs were silent. I checked the GitHub webhook delivers. The signature matched. The event payload was empty. At 1 a.m., sitting in the blue of my monitor, I opened VS Code and a grey suggestion appeared before I started typing. It wasn't Copilot. I don't have it installed on this machine. It was just a ghosted line, as if my cursor had a faint future. The suggestion was a comment in our house style /left preflight. Do not push for 3 vanished when I tried to accept it. I turned off every extension beyond Prettier. I reopened an Insiders. I even typed that phrase into Chrome to check if there was some plugin prank. Nothing. I thought about sensors, about accidental microphones, about something listening. I opened settings and killed every permission for every app. I shut Wi-Fi off. I pulled the Ethernet cable. I typed a test that I knew would fail and hit run. It did. I wrote down the exact failure text on paper. When I reconnected, Slack filled with 2 messages. The first was timestamped 3 minutes ago and quoted the failure text exactly. The second was nice test. I muted that channel. I disabled the app. I created a new Slack workspace and invited no one. I opened a private repo and changed the default branch name just to be spiteful. Slack posted in the new workspace, in a general channel with tattered grey, that our linter would fail in a file that only exists in a separate monorepo. He'd used a nickname for that file only ever used. I opened AWS again. CloudWatch had a log stream with 0 messages that still reported a last event time 15 seconds into the future. I saved a screenshot because I knew how that sounded. I went into GitHub and turned off actions for the repo. We were going to do bare merges until we figured it out. Someone would laugh about it the next morning. 5 minutes later, a commit appeared on a branch with my username on it. The branch didn't exist the moment before. The commit added a single YAML file, github/workflows/preflight.yml. The message was bring back preflight. I hadn't typed that. The changed file was a stub. It did nothing but echo a string and exit 78. The next Slack message was from a CI bridge, and this time it DM'd me. I didn't know it could DM. Preflight, do not post this. I typed out this story in Notepad because it felt somehow safer than VS Code. I watched my clock. I switched my phone to airplane mode. I left Slack open on my second monitor because I wanted to see, because I couldn't not. In the middle of my typing, my Windows toast popped up from Focus Assist, even though I had Focus Assist off. It said quiet hours 2 minutes remaining. On Slack, in DMs, preflight, you will end with the line you began. The cursor in Notepad stuttered. For 1 second, the first line of this text ghosted again in the place where my last line should go. I didn't write it. It was just there, faint as breath on glass, like a suggestion of words I hadn't typed yet, and then gone.